Walk into almost any Christian school gym on a Friday night, and you'll usually see something like this: a quiet circle, heads bowed, players linking hands before tip-off. It's sincere. It matches the school's stated mission statement perfectly. But if you stick around for 20 minutes, the whistle blows and that calm disappears. You see red-faced coaches screaming at officials, benched kids staring at their shoes. If you stripped away the mascots, you couldn't tell the difference between this gym and the public school across town. The game day performance is identical, even though the educational missions are entirely different. Parents pay tuition for character formation, but right now the gym is the highest traffic classroom in the building, and it's running on autopilot. It defaults to the exact same win-at-all-cost culture as weekend travel ball. The reason for that culture is hanging on the wall. This glowing scoreboard dictates the emotional state of every person in the room. Humans naturally adapt to whatever metric is immediately rewarded. Athletics often gets a pass on the school's character mission because winning drives enrollment. It brings in gate revenue. It keeps the alumni happy. You cannot teach character by simply hoping for good behavior. When the points on the board are the only thing that gets celebrated at the end of the night, any character formation that happens is purely an accident. To fix this, we have to look outside of sports. Think about a commercial pilot flying through severe turbulence. When adrenaline spikes, their heart rate jumps, just like a coach's does in a tight game. Professionals in high-stakes environments do not rely on their good intentions to survive a crisis. They rely on a rigid checklist. The list doesn't change based on how tired or angry they feel. Coaches need that same structural support. In the heat of a live game, human instinct defaults to the easiest, most rewarded outcome, which is winning. If you want to build character on purpose, you need a calendar-proof, non-negotiable checklist that survives contact with a stressful season. That checklist is the post-game character debrief. It takes exactly 5 minutes, and it runs identically after every single game, whether the team wins by 20 or loses on a buzzer beater. The boundaries for the huddle are strict. Nobody touches the phone, nobody leaves the gym, and absolutely no one mentions the scoreboard or the stat sheet. Instead, the coach asks 3 fixed questions. First, where did you see someone put a teammate ahead of themselves today? Second, what is one thing you did today your character can be proud of? Finally, who do we need to go encourage right now? By locking in this specific 5-minute routine, you prevent the post-game from turning into a long coaching lecture. It forces character assessment to be as structurally guaranteed as checking the equipment bags. This debrief isn't a new theory. It is built directly on decades of documented public research into youth sports and psychology. Take a look at the Positive Coaching Alliance, founded at Stanford University. Their research proves that coaches can pursue victory while simultaneously teaching explicit life lessons. You don't have to choose between the two. You see the same idea in John Wooden's famous definition of success. He taught his teams at UCLA that true peace of mind comes from knowing you made the effort to be your best, completely separate from outscoring the opponent. Psychological research from Alfie Kohn warns that when a competitive structure only rewards the final outcome, it actively discourages kids from cooperating with each other. Because these secular frameworks are already proven on a massive scale, a school doesn't need to invent proprietary theology to fix its gym culture. It just needs the discipline to install what already works. But a good idea that lives only in a coach's head will quietly disappear the first time a referee blows a call in the final minute. You have to install it structurally. Before the season starts, the athletic director prints this debrief rule right in the official handbook. It sits right alongside non-negotiable policies like injury protocols. Next, the AD models the debrief live for all coaches at the opening staff meeting. They pair coaches up as accountability partners to observe each other, ensuring the habit survives well into October. Finally, you loop the parents in on opening night. You tell them exactly what to expect, so their kids are talking about supporting teammates at the dinner table, not just playing time. That systematic rollout takes a well-meaning value and turns it into a resilient, department-wide reality that survives a tough season. When you put that structure in place, the end of a Friday night looks entirely different. The players are exhausted, the coach is kneeling at eye level to execute the routine. They hold the line on that final question, even if they just suffered a brutal loss and everyone is in a bad mood. The post-game rule simply does not bend. And then you see the result. A teenager crosses the gym to put a hand on a struggling teammate's shoulder. They take immediate, unprompted action because the checklist prompted them to look around. When an entire athletic department tracks hundreds of these small moments over a season, the school finally has concrete evidence that it is fulfilling its mission statement on purpose, not by accident. If character formation is the actual product, we have to stop letting the scoreboard do all the grading.